I don't believe you need to be an artist in any way in order to benefit from a deep and nourishing creative practice. In fact, I believe that tuning into your creativity through holistic art making can unlock your creative power in other areas of your personal and business life too. Welcome to Soul-Led Creative Women, a podcast for creatively curious women seeking rich, soul-led ways to look after themselves better. I'm Sam Horton, and in this episode we'll explore the first part of a 3-part series, the what, why and how map of creative wellness. Let's dismantle the artist's pedestal and get back to basics, exploring 10 simple examples of what a nourishing, accessible creative practice supporting wellness actually looks like. I believe that a creative practice with the right mindset, combined with nourishing, intentional, holistic layers of soul-led inquiry, can add more depth, meaning, and authenticity to your life. In my signature framework, Soul-Led Creative Wellness, I take women on a journey from feeling creatively disconnected to creatively curious to creatively empowered. I believe this journey acts as a mirror and reflects our overall wellness, satisfaction, and connectedness. The term creative practice or art practice can come with an all or nothing perception, sectioned off only for artists or professional creatives. It can feel a bit daunting to commit to or surrender yourself to your creativity in this way. After all, there's always that voice that says, "Who am I to embark on a creative journey?" I don't believe you need to be an artist in any way in order to benefit from a deep and nourishing creative practice. In fact, I believe that tuning into your creativity through holistic art making can unlock your creative power in other areas of your personal and business life too. In my own art practice, allowing myself the freedom to paint and draw just for me in my sketchbook, rather than always having to create works of art that can be sold, has been a huge lesson and an unraveling and deconstruction in my identity as an artist. And it's been a really important process as I work to fully embody what I've learnt and what I continue to learn and share around the concept of creative empowerment being linked to our overall well-being and wellness. For me, this includes time spent art making with no attachment to the outcome, in sketchbooks, on scraps of paper, or on surfaces that have been lying around for years that I would never use for my professional work. This part of my practice is actually really important because it's where I show up solely for the process. This is where the real gold lies. Today, I want to dispel some myths about what a creative art practice means as I provide 10 specific examples of what it actually looks like to have an art practice that nourishes and adds this depth, meaning, and authenticity to life that we all crave. I hope these simple back to basics concepts will help you to remove any stigma that you are holding on to around worthiness or accessibility when it comes to art making as part of your own self-care routine. In my opinion, a deep and personal creative practice is not a nice to have that should be parked for a rainy day when you have loads of time. Is actually a ticket to being able to nourish and better care for yourself, make better decisions, and feel less overwhelmed with life as you access your natural inner power and wisdom. So number 1 on this list is time spent grounding yourself with creativity in mind, cultivating positive and uplifting intentions for the creative desires within you. This can include meditation or some journaling focused on a gentle honoring of your personal and unique creativity. Ask yourself, what creative desires are bubbling away in me right now? What would feel exciting to explore? How can I cultivate my creativity this week? Number 2, organizing your materials. Get excited about your materials. Treat yourself to new ones. Feel like a kid in a toy shop, or discover neglected supplies or even unopened ones in the bowels of your drawers and cupboards. What would you love to revisit or experiment with and just experience? Number 3, gathering inspiration. Collect images, art, designs, themes, textures, techniques. I'm a huge fan of Pinterest, by the way. Dig deep as you uncover your natural preferences and curiosities. This will really help you feel inspired and excited to get started. We don't have to start from nothing. The blank canvas comes before the first paint stroke, yes, but not the first idea. Number 4, give yourself permission to play and explore with childlike curiosity without any attachment to the outcome. When was the last time you gave yourself the freedom to play with art supplies, to touch and feel paint, or hold a paintbrush? The simple tactile experience can feel amazing, and it can surprise you and inspire you. It removes this pressure that we can put on ourselves to be good when we're just starting out. And it helps you come to terms with the fact that not everything you create will be or needs to be beautiful. Some of the art you make, you will hate and want to throw it in the bin, and that is completely okay. This permission to freely explore will help you to stop comparing yourself to someone else's chapter 10 when you're only on chapter 1, because this is just really unhelpful. Number 5, setting yourself bite-sized creative goals to start with, always challenging yourself to expand on those goals as your art practice evolves. But only do this if it excites you. This is where you start to balance play and exploration with no attachment to the outcome, with a commitment to feeling satisfied with the finished artwork. It doesn't mean that within the creative process you are focused and attached to the outcome alone. It means that you are expanding and challenging your creative skills as you naturally start to trust yourself and the creative process. Ultimately, you'll start to create artworks that you feel satisfied with, whether they're good or bad. And you've kept plugging away at the project until you've taken what you needed from the process and you're ready to move on. Don't be surprised if the finished piece looks nothing like you thought it was going to. This is often the case, and it just means that you've gone deep enough into your creative practice and allowed your subconscious to lead the way as your artwork has evolved. Number 6, understand the excuses that stop you from following your creative desires. Maybe it's lack of time, low self-confidence in your creative capabilities, perfectionism or comparison syndrome, or maybe it's because you were never encouraged to value creative activities as anything more than a silly hobby at best, or at worst, a complete waste of time. These are all excuses that stop you from discovering and embracing the creativity in your heart. Number 7, prioritize your creative time. Even if it's just 15 minutes a day or 1 hour a week. My ideal week includes a couple of days of studio time each week. I do like to have bulk sessions, but often this is just not possible. There's too many things to do. So as I've leaned into what my creative practice means to me and really tried to honor that, I now start my day with a minimum 15-minute play in my sketchbook. Even if I don't have time for a big session, this just really keeps me feeling connected to my creative practice when there's a lot going on. Prioritizing your creativity doesn't mean that every spare minute you have needs to be dedicated to creating either. Sometimes a little Netflix binge or an indulgent hot bath wins, and that's fine. but I know that my next project is waiting for me and it won't be long before I return to it. Nor does it mean that you don't love it enough if you don't want to do it all the time. It doesn't mean you won't abandon some projects that you're just not feeling anymore. It does, however, require a shift in mindset. You'll need to change your view from art being a nice to have or an indulgent way for you to spend your time. It is precious time and limited, and you'll need to learn to see it as a supporting and nurturing priority. I don't care how busy you are, if you knew how deeply connected you can feel with a strong creative practice, you would make time. It would become a priority. If you're not currently creatively engaged, I wonder how much time you spend on relaxation habits that don't really serve you at the moment. Just a question for you to ponder. Number 8, expressing yourself freely and using soul-led topics of self-inquiry to help you unravel hidden meanings in your art as you let your subconscious lead the way. This might look like pondering a situation or problem that needs further attention, or it might be something as simple as reflecting in gratitude. There are hidden meanings and guidance waiting for us within our art if we spend long enough pouring ourselves and our souls into it. You'll be surprised at what emerges if you're brave enough to go on the journey. Ponder your day, your week, and your interactions as you immerse yourself in your creative project and see what comes up for you. Number 9, bask in reflection. Spend time with the art you create. Don't rush on to the next project. Put on some music, some scents, and your favorite drink, and sit and stare at it. Journal about it, talk about it, even if it's just to yourself. It will keep giving back to you, whether it gives you more insights or truths, or whether it gives you hints at what you should be exploring next. This can be a really beautiful, reflective, and calming experience. Number 10, share your art and your experience with others. Friends over coffee or lunch, your family, or get brave and share on social media. There is truly great power in sharing your creativity with the world. It can feel liberating. After all, the art we create comes from within us, and it's ours just as much as our face or our fingerprint. I really hope you've enjoyed this episode exploring what a creative practice actually looks like. It's much more than the physical act of painting or making. I think we put so much pressure on ourselves as individuals, as humans, and as women. It's just nice to go back to basics sometimes and look at it really simplistically. There is so much beauty in being able to nurture ourselves and nourish ourselves through creative practice. A deep art practice really is a journey towards greater wellness and enhanced well-being. And I truly believe that this will elevate and transform the way that you care for yourself. Take care and see you next time. If you'd like to receive 3 actionable creative wellness tips personalized to your circumstances that you can implement easily straight away, head on over and take my free quiz at samhorton.co/quiz.